What's up everyone, Random Noise here, and in this tutorial today I wanted to show you some of my workflow for working with Native Instruments Maschine Mark III. I wanted to show you how I start a track, how I build it, how I structure the arrangement, how I select my sound. So this tutorial will try to cover most of my workflow, and I wanted to make it much more practical and actually show you how I do some of the stuff that I do. Quick intro and let's begin. So first of all, before I begin, I wanted to take this opportunity also to thank all of you, everyone that support this channel and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot for me. I just passed 1,000 subscribers and I'm very happy to see that these videos are inspiring and helping other people. So thank you for that. So for today, what we're going to cover is this idea that I started on the Maschine, which is a basic techno track with very simple structure and very simple elements. I will start by playing you first what I have so far, and then I will go into breakdown and see how I can develop it even further. So this is what I have so far. Okay, so this is what I have so far, and it's pretty basic, nothing much happening here. It's just a simple structure of the track that I already arranged into a song mode. Now let me switch into the ideas mode and give you a breakdown of how I started this track, how I choose the sounds, how I build it up. So I move to this first scene right here, and as you can see, this track has 6 group of sounds at the moment. The way I started this track is actually with this group, which has sample from Native Instrument. It's an acid sample, acid loop. And what I did is I sliced it up into different parts and rearranged that, right? So instead of playing it the way it should be, I played up differently, and it sounds something like this. Now on top of that, I put some compression with solid dynamic from Native Instrument, and I put some flanger effect from Flare, also from Native Instrument. And to top it up, I put also some delay effect. And for that one, I used Replica, also from Native Instrument. Now, once I had this basic pattern to start the idea for the track, I moved on to create a simple drums kit, which I built from scratch. It's a very minimal drum kit, and you can hear I have a kick here, hi-hat, some tom, another hi-hat, clap, some ride cymbal, and this chord that I added here with some effect from the Maschine, adding some FM on top of that, and also some reverb effect with the ice. And this one sounds like this. So as you can hear, it's a very basic drum pattern that supports the main pattern from the acid loop. Now moving to the next group, I felt like the acid by itself has not enough bass to hold the track. So I picked a preset from Monarch, which is a really great synthesizer from Native Instrument. It's an emulation of the Moog synthesizer. And I picked one of the bass sound that sound like this. So I've tweaked the sound a bit and choose the D minor chord to match it to the acid loop scale and played a very simple riff that sounds like this. Now for the next part, I picked an FM synthesizer, created a simple chord progression, added on top of it a reverb effect, the realm from Native Instrument, and resample it back into the machine to save a CPU, and also because I've decided that I will not need to develop it further later on. So I can just resample and use the audio as a loop. And it sounds like this. Next, I picked another sound from the FM8 and I picked a synth pad, a soft synth pad that sounds like this. And I picked this one just to add some atmosphere to the track and covered some of these frequencies. I've recorded only one note with this preset that sounds like this. Which repeats every 4 bars. And the final sound that I have in this track so far is a preset from Reactor, a preset that's called Bad Math, and it's basically a synthesizer with a built-in sequencer, which look like this. So again, I changed the sequence to play D minor and tweak the sounds to match the overall track. On top of that, I added some sidechain compression, which is activated by the kick, just to make sure that the frequency not collapse each other. And everything together sound like this. So after I created this basic pattern, I moved into the ideas mode in the arranger and created all the different scenes that I wanted to use in the song, in the track. And basically what I did here is muting and unmuting the parts as I slowly introduced them to the track. So the first scene starts with the kick sound and the chord from the drum kit pattern and sound like this. In the next scene, I'm adding the bass from Monarch. Next, I'm adding the close hi-hat. And in the fourth scene, I'm adding the ride cymbal. this scene, you can start to hear the acid loop coming in. Slowly, I'm adding sound with each new scene. So basically creating some sort of a progression here with the track. And finally introducing the bassline patterns from Reactor. Okay, so now that I kind of organized all this scene and I had a basic idea how I want the track to progress, I moved into the song mode. And inside the song mode, what I did basically is, like I show you with the scene, I created a section for each one of the scene and introduced the one that following after that, and slowly build up the tracks. So we have the first scene starting here. And then the next scene after that with the bass and the close hi-hat, the ride, the acid, and slowly building up the track. So what I'm going to do next is going to show you how I add some other parts to this track as I continue to build it and try to make it more complete. So what I prefer to do is adding all the transition and ear candies in the clip mode. And the reason I do that is because I have more freedom to move around the clips and copy them from one section to another. And for that purpose, I'm using a new group in which I will add different sound that I think appropriate for the transition. So if I move back to the plugin mode, and now this group is completely empty, I have no sound. So what I will do, I will go into browse, and then in the one shot, I will search for some elements that can help me with the transition. For example, crash cymbal, right? So I will pick this 909 crash cymbal, for example, load it. I'll go into the mixer and make sure it's not too loud, right? So what I can do now in the song mode, I can record this everywhere I want to have the transition. So let's give it a try. Let's try to add the first crash in the beginning and maybe in the second part. So pressing shift and record. Oh, and by the way, you gotta make sure, I don't know if you can see from here, but the record will always be where the loop is indicated. And you can indicate the loop by selecting the section from here. So if you can see, the brighter gray over here now indicate that the loop is gonna happen here, which means that this is also where the recording will start. So I gotta make sure that I'm on clip and also that I'm selecting the right track that I want to record. And now I can just press shift and record. So as you can see, I recorded the crash cymbal into this clip. And what I can do, and I think it's easier on the computer actually, is to drag the clip and copy it to wherever I want. Right, so I make sure that I disarm the recording here. And then if I play from that position, you can see that I can reuse that crash in the following section. So right now this crash is not quantized and it's a bit off, but I can of course select it and quantize it. And then if I go a bit back and play that part again. So yeah, this is basically one workflow that I'm using on the machine. So I'm starting by creating this pattern that is based on idea, adding all the sounds and different groups that I think I want to use. And then in the idea section, I just build all the different sections that I think I'm going to use in the song. And once I'm happy with that, I will move into the track song, build a structure, and then add all the other stuff that I need more flexibility to move around by using the clips. So I hope this tutorial was helpful, and if you have any question, you can leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.